Hi, I'm Regina Campbell, the managing attorney here at the Campbell Law Group. We want to welcome you back for another how-to series. Today we're going to talk about how to talk to your kids about vaping. And this is a really important topic, and it's as anything that we're in the holiday seasons, it may not necessarily be the best time to do so. We'll talk a little bit about how timing is very important in these discussions. But in general, I think it's a very important topic to have. A lot of families are struggling with this issues. Of course, I know also there's issues with drugs and alcohol. But I find vaping seems to be an underlying theme that children seem to be more addictive to and seems to be more prevalent, so to speak, across a lot of young children. Some people will be surprised to hear that there are, a lot of children start vaping 11, 12, 13 years old. It actually starts in middle school. So it's very important to keep an eye out. Tip number one, how to talk to your children. First of all, it's observing them actually to see if you're seeing the signs of them potentially vaping. Some of the signs, of course, will include you cannot tell where some of the money is going, behavioral changes, more irritability. And you might say, Reg, aren't teenagers automatically irritable? Yes, but you'll find more irritability, you'll find more aggressivity a lot of times, and even possibly more attention deficit issues. Now, of course, that depends on the child's use. If it's mild, then it's every so often, you're not going to be able to see that as often. But in either case, today is really more about not getting into the depth of that. It's just how to talk to your kids about vaping, to try to prevent them from starting it, or potentially to help them get off of it if they are on it. And number one, tip number one is not to be judgmental. Remember, you were young too. Kids do, even though we don't realize, they do listen to everything we say about people, the way we observe things, the way we judge things. So it's really important that they don't feel that you are overly judgmental or they're afraid to tell you things that they might even be ashamed of or just not happy about, but they're hooked or they like it or they don't even know why they like it or what it means. They don't understand maybe how bad this can be for you. So for the most part, you want to make sure that you're non-judgmental. Tip number two, find the right time to talk to your child about this. It might be actually little by little, approaching the subject. Hey, do you know someone that vapes? Do you guys see it in school? You got to find your way in. It's kind of hard sometimes to talk to children, especially at that age. It becomes difficult. But I believe if you take down the barriers by being non-judgmental and encourage your child in general anyways to talk to you about things that they might be doing and certain habits, talking to them about how to manage life little by little. Obviously, some of them are very young. They're not going to understand what you mean. It'll help the conversation overall. Not just for vaping, but for a lot of things. But in general, timing is very important, to talk to the kids. Tip number three, be patient and kind with them. If they are doing it, you have to talk about how you can stop. What's the reason why they're doing it? Is it peer pressure? Is it stress and anxiety? Try to attack the overall problem. It might just be for fun, but then you want to explain to them how too much fun can be very harmful to them and what it can do, and why you want to kind of redirect them into something a little bit more productive. Okay? So these are, so far there's 3 tips, and these are just the basic tips, to give you maybe how to talk to your children. In general, listen to them carefully, and unfortunately sometimes you can't, even if your child tells you, no, I'm not doing it, Mom, there's no way, so-and-so does it, I've never touched that stuff. Believe it or not, a lot of times children are doing it, okay? Kids are, they want to hide it from us so they can continue to do it. So at one point you also may have, tip number 4 is, you're going to have to talk to your child, and whether, depending on where you are in the conversation, whether they're being honest about it or not, you're going to have to test them. If they say, okay, Mom, I'm doing it, I'm getting off of it, you're going to have to test them to see if that's true, okay? If they say they're not on it, I would periodically test them. And explain to them, honey, it's, this is a really bad habit. We are talking, we're developing trust, but I need to make sure that this is happening and that you're being honest with me. So this is one way of doing so. So you have to approach that conversation very carefully, because they may say, well, don't you trust me? Well, I don't trust the substance. I don't trust the possible addiction. I trust you, honey. But we need to make sure we're having an open conversation and that it's transparent between both of us. Tip number 5, talk to your doctor and your child psychologist if they have one about this, or psychiatrist. A lot of time nicotine, if you're finding also there might be interaction, if your child might be on some type of antidepressant or ADD medication or some kind of mood disorder medication, invariably, depending on the amount of quantity of nicotine they're taking in, not only can it be very dangerous, okay, but it also can interact with those types of medicines and counteract those medicines so they're not as effective as normal. So hopefully these tips have been very helpful for you. We try to come to you with, this is sort of a little bit different than the usual sort of business law and family law topic, although of course it's more in line with the family law topic. But I'm seeing a lot of this in my practice, and of course in people that I know, and in life in general. And I thought it was really, really important to have, to give tips, maybe pass on some of the things I've learned or I've observed. On a personal level, basically. So hopefully these how-to series have been helpful for your business and for your family. If you haven't seen some of our how-to series, please go on YouTube and you can look at our past how-to videos. They might be helpful in some kind of business situation or some family situations, whether it's divorce or how to talk to your children about divorce. And stay tuned for a future how-to podcast, and you can also watch our Legal Zone podcast. How-to series, videos. And we also have the Legal Zone podcast and also the Campbell Corner. Please, join us, be a subscriber on our YouTube channel, Apple Podcast channel, or our Buzzsprout channel. And we ask that you follow us on all the social media accounts. And we hope you enjoy our latest TikToks. We're new to TikTok and we're having a lot of fun with it. Thank you again. And I hope this was helpful. Happy holidays, and hope everyone is healthy and doing well and enjoys this holiday season. Take care.